Welcome to HumanityWins.net. Please read the important disclaimer on your screen. All of the content provided is for entertainment purposes only. It should not be taken as medical or legal advice. Please contact your doctor or lawyer if you require such advice. Thank you. The show starts right now. Welcome to this new episode of HumanityWins.net. This is episode 162 from January the 30th of the year 2023. Today's a Monday. Today's episode is something I've spoken about on several episodes, on private conversations with people. It's something that if you have followed me for a while, I've mentioned a few times. Actually, it's at the end of every episode in what I call the last 3 minutes, which is basically one of the many things I say in that condensed, outro of every episode is don't be concerned about being right ever, something like that. I say it that way. And it's basically the purpose of this episode. I think it merits its own episode because it's something very important that is very human. And when I say human, it sounds like a good thing, but I'm mentioning the poisoning of the mind, this grooming, this programming. We all humans go since you are birth, since you are born, since you actually start existing in this society, in this reality, in this matrix. One of the many things they do through school, through grooming, something that you expect to be a normal thing is you always need to be right. And trust me, no. And I'm going to give it my spin, as always, on how basically they have tainted something called truth into believing there's one absolute truth, because that's submission, okay? If there's one absolute truth about everything, whoever has that, you need to submit to that. You are not making it go through yourself, through your own intuition, through your inner self, through your divine connection. You're actually submitting to information, especially if the source is someone that the system will say it's someone you should trust, for example, Einstein, then you don't question it. Whatever Einstein said, everyone thinks it's true. Everyone thinks it's accurate, okay? And if you believe me, if you will investigate some of the things some of the conclusions Einstein came to, they were full of assumptions, full of others' work, full of assumptions. He basically fill in the blanks with whatever he thought it was correct. And no, it's not. For example, the highest speed in the universe, the speed of sound, 300,000 kilometers per second, that's inaccurate. Speed in the universe is unlimited, as it's supposed to be. The universe is infinite in size. Do you think God will limit the speed you can traverse it? So you cannot go from one side of the universe to other, so you cannot go to the center of the universe, which is source, immediately. Do you think really he will put those kind of limits when he's making a creation? No, time, speed, and distance in the universe are not relevant. That's just an example of how we submit to these realities, these truths, this information, and we claim just because we get it from somewhere else, from a book, from a video. Previously, there were no videos, so basically books. It was the chosen, or hearing someone speaking. Okay, I'm talking before books. Someone will gather at the center of a city, in a plaza or something like that, just start speaking, and some people, depending on who was speaking, will make it like that was the truth. Okay, so if you were higher up, if you were, for some reason, if you were someone respected, or people will think you were telling the truth, they will listen to that and assume that's the truth. I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to question it because, whatever person, whatever name you want to put in ancient Greece, ancient Rome, whatever civilization you want to talk about, that's the case, okay? The source tells you if it's true or not, and it's wrong. Those are my feelings. So I want to read what is in the screen right now because it's quite beautiful. You can grow, can't improve. If you're always right and others wrong. But there's this implanted notion of this artificial ego, okay? Because I'm more sure every day that there are 3 pieces of the puzzle here, okay? It's the self, which is basically your spirit. There's a companion to the self, but it's spiritual also, which is the ego. But that's something God-given, that's something natural, that's something organic, which is just a companion. As you're still imperfect, the ego is kind of, keeps the self in check, so it doesn't, it's not assuming it has already made it. So as long as you have the ego is like a companion to the self, so the self can know, no, we're still imperfect, okay? But then what mainstream will tell you is the ego. What most people, when they talk about the ego, when you're ego-centered, when some people are called narcissistic, which is basically all about them, all about, everyone working for them. It's not what I can do for you, it's what you can do for me. It's how you can make me feel. It's how much love you can give me. It's how much things you can give me. It's not about what I can do. It's about what I receive from others. That's narcissistic personality. They are basically feeding this poisoning of the mind, which is the artificial ego. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about. This poisoning of trying, really of saying, of being infuriated with other people that you feel are not telling the same air quotes truth that you're telling. And again, the truth is tailored to you. Okay, that's the thing we have to learn as humans. I think of the process of maturing. I've arrived to that conclusion, and I always say I'm not sure about anything. I don't know anything, okay? But it feels inside me that the truth cannot be this absolute thing out there. If anything, the only truth is God is the creator of everything. That's the only thing. And then after that, everything really has to be seen through your own eyes, through your own experience, through your own life existence, because everything is tailored to us. All of our existences are different. They are all beautiful and incredible, yes, but they are all different. Okay, that's why I also claim you exist in this reality as you mature and as you grow and as you learn, alone. Okay, because that's the way we're supposed to do it. There's this school of thought which I'm always open to learn new things. There's this school of thought that maybe we travel or we go through our existence in soul groups. That's also a possibility. Am I wrong? Possibly. It feels to me that our existence is something we find people in our little chapters, but the whole book is alone. Okay, we find people out there in chapter 3, in chapter 7, in chapter 11, but it's not like it's the same people in chapter 3, 7, and 11. It's different socializing groups we have, like, for example, in this reality, your family and friends. That's why I insist on every episode almost, and I insist on the outro of every episode on the last 3 minutes. Please enjoy your family and friends, because some people, it's very human also that we kind of take them for granted. Okay, we say, okay, they're always there. I don't know, I live in one country, my parents in another, I see them once a year, once every 2 years. They're always, it's kind of intuition saying they're always going to be there. Okay, they're healthy, and then suddenly something happens, and no more a father, a mother, a wife, a spouse, a husband, a friend, a dear friend, a brother, a sister. And then what happens? You try to, you feel like I should have, uh, you know, had a more closer relationship to my XYZ, relationship I just mentioned. Because right now it's impossible. They're gone. And yes, they're gone. That's how I feel. They're gone. Once they leave this reality, their interaction with you, it's no longer there. They're gonna go somewhere else, somewhere completely different. Maybe you're gonna be in experience A, they're gonna be in experience B. And then there's also this school of thought that we are then gonna reunite somewhere, in some experiences without remembering our previous attachments or previous relationship we had. So I don't know about that. That's also possible. But it feels to me that we go through this experience alone, and that's how we mature and how we discover that we don't need anything. It sounds very sad, I know, but we don't need anything. Okay, we also in Waking the Future, in the last episode, there was this guest I like very much, Jeannie, a lady from Australia, and she mentioned something that it was strange, but it seemed almost negative that I said. So she said, "You don't need God." I agree, because God, when He made you, He gave you the full package. So you are not on your experiences calling back always, "Hey, God, help me, help me, help me." No, no, no. The response is when you ask for God's help is, "I'm here, your son. I'm here. I love you. But you have everything you need to fix it yourself. So I'm not going to do it for you, because if I go and interfere with everything that is happening in my creation, in my universe, then basically I'm going to do it and not you. You are the creation. It's not God." He understands that. He's so humble, so beautiful, that we are the creation of God, and not God doesn't want to take precedence or importance above us. He's so beautiful like that. Um, 1 second, I need to take a little break. I'll be right back. I apologize. I had to take a phone call, as I said a few times. Usually, I try to select the time of the day that I have less work, or there are less possibilities to receive a phone call or be interrupted. I apologize for that. But at the end, I paste these videos together, and the interruption. Maybe I'm making more about it than it was. So, uh, Let's watch a video. It's mainstream. It's from a doctor. I found it on YouTube. As always, I include the link on the show notes, and you might want to look at other work from this creator. As always, I try to give, it's the least I can do to try to share the credit and all that, and try to abide to the Fair Use Act. I don't charge for my work, and this is basically my opinions. It's a criticism, entertainment video. There's nothing to it. There's no agenda. So yes, of course, when I build these documentary type videos, all the videos you see included in this, they are from other people's work. And if I haven't shared it enough, the direct links to the videos, usually in YouTube, but other platforms as well, Twitter, BitChute, more whatever, is included on the show notes. Okay, if you're interested in that, just one click. Or if you feel you want to see more work from these creators, certainly do that. So without further ado, let's watch this video. It's around 4 minutes, but it explains perfectly how, even by mainstream explanations, is something attached to the ego, to the artificial ego, again, not the spiritual ego, to this poisoning of the mind that we need to be right all the time. We need to be better than others. We need to be the one that has the information. We cannot be wrong, okay? We cannot be wrong because something is wrong. And that's just something they have implanted in your brain, believe me. So let's watch it together.
Why do you always need to be right? Now, what brought you to this video? Is it that you always need to be right? Or is it that someone else in your life believes that they always need to be right? It's actually not a need. There are only really 4 needs for survival: food, water, shelter, and physical touch or physical affection. So when we're talking about wanting to be right, it's exactly that. It's a want, it's a desire, it's a craving. How is it expressed? It's expressed in numerous ways. Number 1, telling other people that they offend us, that they don't know how they're living their life, and that we know better than they do, and we're telling them how they should be living their life. Number 2, seeking to win at all costs. Number 3, trying to prove yourself as being better or superior to others, that you know more, that you're just a better person. Number 4, always complaining. In other words, you're not satisfied with what you've got, and you're complaining and you're pointing out everything that's wrong all around you. Number 5, attaching all of your self-worth to your accomplishments and your achievements. Now, there's nothing wrong with being proud and even boastful of your achievements, but if you attach all of your value to it, then again, you're trying to prove that you're right. Number 6, attaching yourself to other people's opinions of you. In other words, you're trying to prove yourself right. Why? Because you want everyone to like, love, and accept you. And finally, number 7, just generally fighting to be right. Always trying to tell everyone else that they're wrong, that they don't know what they're thinking, they don't know what they're doing. These things that I just described, these sort of 7 key forms of wanting to be right, really come from the ego. And the ego is more about separating yourself from other people. It's about proving yourself to be superior, better than the other person, arrogant, etc. But it doesn't actually bring you closer to people. Nonetheless, what really drives this so-called need, desire, want, or craving to be right? It's a place of insecurity. It's a place of, I can't like myself unless everyone else realizes, vindicates, validates, and reflects to me that I'm good enough. So really, all of these behaviors are an attempt for other people to reassure you and to tell you, you know what, you're right, you're better, you're smarter, you know more, therefore we like, love, and accept and approve of you. So the very desire to be right comes from a place of insecurity, not feeling good enough, having self-doubt, wanting other people to convince you that you're good enough, you're worthy, you're special, you're lovable, and you're valuable. Now, of course, we do all need to have connections with other people. We do need to have some sense of approval and acceptance from other people, particularly if we're going to live in a society or live communally or just get along. However, when it tilts and then the scales tip over, then we're not leading a balanced life and we're depending on everyone else to validate us. So take a look at yourself and ask yourself, why do I really need to be right? Now, in some cases, it's just a case of ego and pride, and we find it difficult to say, you know what, I'm sorry, I was wrong, you're right. But why? Because we confuse right with being happy. It's a simple formula. Right doesn't always equal being happy. So ask yourself in every situation, do I need to be right here? Will being right make me truly happy? Now you might say, oh yes it will because I'll feel better, but it may not necessarily. So ask yourself, what would I prefer? Would I prefer to be right? Or would I prefer to be happy? Also beware of your ego, because really you're trying to put someone else down and say, listen, I'm better than you, I'm smarter than you, I'm superior to you. And that doesn't actually bring people closer to you, does it? What really brings people closer to you is when you validate them, when you offer them approval and acceptance and understanding. When you can actually say to someone, because they are, you're right about that. Understand that you could still be wrong about something, but it doesn't make you a wrong person. You could still be mistaken. You could still be wrong about something, about a topic or even something that happened. But that doesn't mean that you're less of a person. And it doesn't make you a bad person, and it doesn't make you inferior. Ultimately, what we all want is we want to feel good around people. We want to feel good in ourselves, and we want to feel close to people. We want to have love and connection. To get love and connection, express respect. Show acceptance, understanding, patience, and tolerance. Stop trying to put people down as a way of proving yourself as being superior.
So that was, a very good explanation. And again, the link to the video from this doctor is on the show notes. So you might want to check out, he has a YouTube channel. You might want to check some of his other work. So let's read the, the saying that I have on the screen right now, something very beautiful from Gautama Buddha. Okay, so pretty high up. Sometimes it's better to be kind than to be right. We do not need an intelligent mind that speaks, but a patient heart that listens. You will not be punished for your anger. You will be punished by your anger. Gautama Buddha. Yes, I couldn't agree more. I mean, I'm not gonna say it as as elaborate as the saying, of course, but basically just let yourself go from this need to be right all the time. Actually, I would say don't be concerned at all if you're right or wrong. Some people say, well, then you're going to endorse disinformation. This, again, this is a pretty recent thing that came in 2016. I think Trump, yes, a puppet of the system, because he is, I'm sorry about that. That's how I feel. Am I sure? No, wait, I'm not sure about anything. I'm not sure about that. But how I feel is Trump is just a bad guy that plays the good guy for the play, for the system, okay? So he's friends with the other actors, and of course he's friends with the director of the play, and he plays his part, okay? And his part was to try to discredit mainstream media, to coin in everyone's mind the news, those two. How those words in English have done the rounds around all the world. Basically, a president, yes, of course, one of the most important, air quotes important, bigger, more, more powerful as far as money, military countries in the world. The mainstream leader of the world with the European Union and others in the United States. He coined those words, and they made the rounds all around the world. That basically, 4 years after, they switched the narrative information. Okay, so you see, for example, in Italy, and even in and all that, even people that were saying, basically, I don't want to have it. I don't have a problem with it. It's fine with me. I personally don't want to have it. It's going to harm him. They coined this word to actually put a lot of weight in something called factuality, or, if you are saying something that is factual. And I suggest to you, the only thing I can do is suggest, by the way, I can only give you my feelings, that you let go, that you are at peace, that whatever you say comes from the inside, not from your mind, but from your heart. And if it comes from your mind, comes validated by your heart. Yes, you have a validator inside you, and is the access to your inner self, the access to your divine connection, and the access to your wisdom. And I want to clarify, you might want to say, why did you say it was okay for Ginny to say we don't need God? Because we don't love God as a father. I'm not saying he doesn't exist. That will be awful. But to say that God, our Father, gave so everything since we were created to be basically adults from the startup. But we had to discover these tools we have, this force, this inner strength we have, this wisdom we have. We had to discover it as we go, like a baby is born. And yes, in this reality, of course, you have to take care of it as parent. But then when a child reaches the adult age, the best thing that a father wants is for his child not to need him. Okay, that's beautiful. Okay, of course you want the love. Of course you want to stay together. Of course, the relationship, I mean. But there's nothing more beautiful for a father, a parent, a mother, a father, to know that his or her child is an adult now, and is so mature and is so powerful, has the inner strength that the child or the adult, doesn't need the parent. That's what God wants. For you to stop being a victim, for you to stop worshiping, for you to stop being less, okay? Because we're all equal. I know that sounds very liberal or very leftist. No, trust me, we're all equal. As spirits, How can it possibly be bigger and smaller spirits? We all have the same spirit. Okay, it's in this reality with the flesh, with the brain, that we have some differences. And yes, some people they are not as they don't have the same strength, physical strength than others, and don't have the same brain as others. Some don't use it as much as others. So of course there are gonna be difference. But in our true self, because remember, you are not what you see in the mirror, you're something else. We're all equal. We're all sons of God, the Creator. Okay, so when we leave our rabbit holes behind, when we unpoison our mind, when we take this poison out of our minds, and our brain starts being that tool that helps us traverse this reality and yes, develop some abilities and skills. Yes, that's perfect. I'm not saying you shouldn't do that. I'm not saying you shouldn't read a book. I'm saying how it affects you, okay? If, for example, you read a book and that book starts controlling your life, there's something wrong there, in my humble opinion. This is just a suggestion. But if you read a book and you take that knowledge and make good use of it, that's perfect. Take a second book and a third book and a fourth book and a video and talk to people and have as much knowledge as you like, as long as it doesn't control you. And this obsession of being right and this obsession about the absolute truth, because both things are implanted poison in your brains by the system, okay? Because again, if there's only one truth, they have it. So that's how they control you. We have the truth. We have the science. Trust the science. Trust the scientists, which they control. Of course, they weren't going to say that. Okay. So that's the problem. They don't like that we're not looking at them anymore. That's the problem right now. That's the only problem, again, that we're maturing. Yes. We're discovering we're much more, and we're discovering we don't need them, and we don't need God. Yes, as I already explained, doesn't mean we don't love our Father God. We love Him very much, but He gave us all the tools to be independent. He gave us all the tools to go through these existences alone. Okay, so don't believe these stories that you say you don't need God, then you think you're a God and you're gonna be destroyed. Of course they were gonna say that, of course, because they don't want you thinking like that. They don't want you feeling like that. Okay. So I could keep going this subject that, for me, and I just want to say in the comments of Waking the Future, this subject comes up all the time because there's a person I'm not gonna mention it by name. You can go there if you like. There are a few persons actually. I shouldn't make this only about one person. There are 3-4 people that comment all the time. That for them, yes, they are very abrasive to others that don't think like that because they feel they own the truth. They feel you're wrong and they're right. And if you think about it, simple logics, for them to be right, you have to be wrong. If you have a difference of opinion with them, for them to be right, you have to be wrong. And they have to attack you because that's the implanted artificial poisoning ego. That's the implanted ego, the poisoning, say no, you're better than this person, you're smarter than this person. Attack it, show the difference, show that you're superior, all artificial. Okay, so I hope you like this one. Still don't have a subject for Thursday's episode. Maybe I'm gonna do a chat. I don't know. I'm also being as I'm gonna be very busy for the next few months. Really, I apologize for that. It's just reality, okay? So because I've been asked if I'm gonna go back to 3 episodes a week, it looks very unlikely right now. I remember I mentioned it was only gonna be January, but no, right now it's basically permanent that I'm gonna stick with these 2 episodes. On the BitChute channel, we're rebuilding it. I already mentioned that many times. So there are some interesting episodes coming up. They are work from months ago, but it's amazing how they come and some new members have liked them. I really enjoy that. But eventually we're gonna reach around episode 100. That's 101 or something like that. So we're gonna stop rebuilding the channel. It's gonna be fully built. So that's an opportunity right now. We do have Monday through Friday episodes on the BitChute channel. If you're in Rumble, you might want to check that. Or if you're in Rumble, you might just want to go to the other channels. There's, the other episodes. There's 160 something episodes now, 162. So basically, just go and look for episode 30, 40, and you might find interesting stuff there. Of course, I wish I could be able to do this daily, Monday through Sunday, and maybe even twice daily episodes. Of course, I love it. I enjoy it very much, but I need to make a balance between my life, between my commitments. And right now, it just really doesn't look likely for the next few months that I'm going to go back to 2 episodes per week, okay? Thank you very much. And if everything is okay, I shall see you back on Thursday. Have a great Monday with family and friends. Enjoy it. Enjoy every second of your life. Don't be concerned. Don't be concerned about being right ever. Stay for the last 3 minutes. Thank you. Thank you for making it to this part of the video. This is my favorite part. This is where I suggest to you that you discover yourself. You are not what you have been groomed to believe. You are this incredible being without limits that has eternal life, amazing strength, infinite wisdom, and a big, beautiful heart. All your limits are always self-imposed. Your best version in this reality is inside you. Your only mission on this life is to become a beacon of love and guidance. This version is ready to be discovered today. How do you discover yourself? The discovery process is a personal one. No one can do it for you. Dedicate 5 minutes a day to talk to yourself and the universe. Request to be connected and ask, who am I? Where do I come from? You will start getting signs, breadcrumbs, and signals. You will notice how your notions about those realities start disappearing. No more hierarchies, no more competition, no more complaining, no more depending on others. Discovering yourself equals to breaking your matrix. Your self-imposed limits will fall and you will be ready to serve humanity and help break this spell and deception on us. But you must be patient to allow others to wake up at their time through their own free will. That will be really soon, you will see, and that will start a new war. As you work towards your best version, you will notice how all emotions don't serve you anymore. Hate, fear, rage, pride, loss, envy, violence, justice, true violence, judgment of others, and other emotions will disappear from your mind and heart. You will understand those emotions serve only the evildoers and are not you. Please try to be understanding of others that don't think or feel like you. Everyone has a process. No one is right or wrong. We're all just different. Don't be concerned about being right, ever. Don't allow pride preventing you from patching things up with family and friends. It is very important you enjoy this life with your loved ones. Put in the work to patch things up and leave it to others to decide. Please relax and enjoy life. When everyone breaks their own matrix, humanity through our community consciousness will break the final spell. The new world will start and everything will gradually fall. Governments, hierarchies, and the medical and financial system will go from scarcity to abundance for all. Thank you very much for watching. Please share this episode. If you have any comments or suggestions, please use the comment section below. For private questions, conversations, and if you would like to appear on the show, please email me at hey@humanitywins.net. Please be sure to check out our friends from Waking the Future and their awaken-attire.com shop. They gave me my first opportunity to speak about this and I will be forever grateful. Link to their channel and shop on the show notes. Thank you again. Please don't forget to visit our website www.humanitywins.net. By giving me your time, you honor me. Have a very, very, very nice day.